it's not the best ideal situation. He's collected frames, and he starts pressing me away. There's nothing I can do about it. He'll start framing, and I really would love to have been inside this armpit and controlling that skull, but upon landing in the pass that you're going to do and land in that position, he's going to press away right away because you just cleared these knee lines, but you weren't able to control that skull, so now he starts knee elbow escaping. I can't do anything about it. Hopefully I've attached my hands that I can pause it and maybe mount, but that's not the case in this situation, okay? I've just landed in this position, and he's pressing me away, and I can't do anything about it. So this is where I left off. I just changed it a little bit. Last time we did it off a cut and stuff, but at this point, once he separates, he just wants to connect this to this and then put this shin between me. That's what he wants to do. I'm going to accept it, okay? But I'm going to make a shield so that that can't come up, and I'm going to catch the elbow line before he comes up. So this is where we left off, right? We're just playing it from a different situation. Still the same move, okay? So as he's pressing away, I drop and I accept that I'm getting separated, but I face the same way. What I cared about at this point is just catching onto this elbow, because I don't want you to finish off your turn. I also don't want those shins coming between me. Okay, I'm going to pretend that this person is not a person, because you're going to get different reads on this. Okay, some people upon landing will fight to come to turtle, but I told you a lot of times in class, one of us has accepted being the down player, and the other guy is like, oh yeah, I'll be the top player, or the bottom player plays a game that most of his submissions come from the bottom, whether he's excellent at arm bars or from the bottom, or he's excellent at triangles, and the majority of his game is played on his back. That's the other guy that'll separate from you. High-level BJJ player upon the pass, we were taking it from turtles, so it's a little bit different. So you're going to experience this upon your pass, right? He's going to make separation. So as he's separating, I'm accepting but dropping my hand, and I'm also understanding, like, I don't really care too much right now about controlling that hip, because you are not a person that's trying to come up the turtle. What I'd love to do is be able to do two things at this point. I don't know where this hand's going to be, because I would love to be attacking this hand. But in this situation, because we're here and we just dropped, and I made this shield behind me so that that shin couldn't come in, all I really cared about was switching my grip. So I had to take it from here, because in the initial spot, I don't want this thing to beat me before I make that turn. So as he's coming up, I'm dropping and turning before that thing comes between me. Now I've caught this elbow line. So in the last class, this is how we played it. Well, I played it the other way in the last class, but I want you to be comfortable attacking both sides. So we'll also attack that side this coming week. At this point, when I've dropped, I care about switching my grip. So let's lay him down for a second. We'll imagine he's turning so everybody could see. All I care about is switching this grip and getting a deep false grip on the other one so I can punch this long. Okay, so when we're here, I just switched my grip. I'm facing the same way, because I may come over the turn if this hand is pressing away and I feel I can clear it, but that's not the one we're doing yet. Okay, so I'm trying to get a good read on where the hand positions are, and if this hand's overextending or if he's blocking my turn to come around. Because I'd rather not have to be with this guy right here, because in the equation that I just painted, he's really much bigger and stronger, and I don't know how deep I'm going to get on that pocket, and now he's a really big player, and he's going to start pressing me away. So I'm trying to read it also, not just trying to impose my will. There's a game for each person. I know in the beginning you got a limited arsenal, but as you expand your repertoire, you're going to understand, like, hey, that's not going to work on that guy. I'm not going for that in this situation. So when you made this flip grip, I cared about holding this positional line and lifting this as aggressively as I can. I'm staying up, but I'm explaining why, because I don't want him finishing his turn or getting away from me. So what I'd love to do is be able to punch this guy long. We're not going to cut him on a quarter Nelson on this one. We're just going to say that at this point, he wasn't recovering. He didn't come to turtle, because that's not how I told you the story, right? So he's not a guy that's going to come to turtle. So my first reaction is I drop it, and if I'm short on it, I suck it even deeper, right? He's not turning. I'm landing, turning, and looking to capture on the other side, okay? So I'm going to ask you to do it two ways, okay? So that's the first one. You still caught, right? You still dropped. You understood what the storyline was. You didn't get control of the skull. You weren't under the far side. He's going to frame and shrimp on you. You can't hold a position. I see it with white belts and blue belts. They will force the issue and try to hold a position, and then they'll lose guard. Okay, you're not there anymore. You got to run from those knee lines. So on the second one, when he started pressing you away, this is where you were, and I was pressing you away. So I dropped and I turned that way, right? So now I'm going to say at this point, I was able to, because this hand was pressing so long, that I was able to run around the outside and come right back in. I never changed this position. Lay back down. I don't take this hand and slide it up here. This hand stays here the whole time because he's trying to get up. As I ran around, he's going to realize I'm coming to this side. So I want to be able to punch him in a knee pinch to attack this top arm. So in the equation that I'm painting, on this one, your partner's pressing you away. So you're trying to get a read. Can I hit that, darce? Am I big enough and long enough? Maybe he's too muscular on the structure and I want to be short on this grip on the hand position. So you might read it and go, I'm not going for that. I'm not good at that. I don't understand the arteries on it. So I may run the line over the top. So as you're coming around the top, that hand should not change. It was here in the beginning. Lay back down. It was facing that way in the beginning. When I ran around the turn, it still stayed in the same position. What I cared about at this point, when I ran around the pocket, I'll tell you what I care about, is getting my hand on this side of the equation. And I'm going to tell you right now what we're going to do. When you run around, I want you to attack this arm. So I want you to be here and attack this arm and separate it. But the reason I'm bringing it up is that if you run around, your hand's here, I want it on this side because in case I don't get underneath and I do lose this and he comes to turtle, I want to be able to spin and reattack here in this quadrant or transfer low. So when you just shelve that arm and you made that turn, don't keep this hand here. Okay, we're making a full turn. I understand the equation. He was separating me. I don't have head control. So don't start telling me that you're going to run around this turn like this with this hand. This is different. Sometimes I've explained this. When you're getting so aggressive that you're desperate for a submission, and either I put knee on belly to bring him up and I make a far side wedge, and now I'm making this knee pin. This isn't that. Okay, that I control this armpit and I control that head. That's different. Here, I don't control either one. I have a small elbow grip. I don't control the skull because he's here on a frame. Two different moves. Okay, so I don't need that far side wedge because I never owned anything up top. Right? So don't mix those two up. And when you make this turn around the corner, have an emphasis to get this hand on this side. I should not see it on this point. So when you're here at this turn and you're coming around, I'm already over the top, right? Because I don't know where this hand's going to be. He's either going to be on an elbow drop or he's going to be on a re-shelf to the far side so I can spin this to either a gift wrap or I can spin it to the back. Or if I lose it, I may drop it and take it to that back quadrant. But when you come around the turn, that hand should not be here. It's a different move in the one that I show with the frame and he pulls it back. But that's because I own up here. Okay, I don't own anything right now. Okay, guys? So let's partner up, and we're going to do two. Okay, we're going to do the darce, and then we're going to run the turn over the top. As you're coming over the top, throw it through. I'm asking you to do a kimura on this one. Okay, you can take this a lot of different ways. You can go to armbar, you can take it a lot of different ways. But on this drill, let's do kimura on this one. Let's rock. Attack a guillotine also from there. Right, so you did everything right. You understood what was occurring. Right, he's making separation. And then I drop, and I'm here, and I'm going, man, this guy's not even moving. And he's bottled up so tight, and his whole thing is like either here or he realizes if he's reading the game like I'm reading, he overexposed that pocket. He should have been playing T-Rex too. But now he goes like this, and I drop, and I'm saying, hey, you've been playing the game 20 plus years too. You understand what I'm doing. So there's an opportunity now to attack that neck, right? So instead, but I got to be quick on my grips. Okay, because once you go over the top with this chin strap, this hand was buried. So I got to make connection of these hands right away. Okay, so as soon as I was here, I was making this block, and I'm going, you know what? I was about to run the line over the top, and he bottles up on me. So instead of me coming over the top, I'm going to just drop this inside, and I'm still on this grip. right? So I'm going to try to stay up, guys. So as I'm here, I'm sliding through and dropping this and retracting this hand because I got to get connections of these two hands together, okay? So as soon as I'm sliding through, I'm releasing to get over the top. I'm not sitting here trying to get a attachment at this point. I cared about one thing. I cared about curling these grips. So my grip is, I have almost like an OK sign on the chin, and my thumb grip is bladed, so it's an air choke and not a blood choke, okay? I'm gonna be on that Adam's apple right away, and as I sit through, I cared about one thing. I cared about sliding myself up so that I can get a really good penetration at that windpipe and throwing my secondary leg over. So as I'm driving up, I'm throwing over to collect the backside, and I don't stop the arch of the, you okay?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not stopping the arch of this coming into the throat line, so I'm gonna kill off his windpipe, okay? But it's incredibly important that I'm not sitting so low. So once you drop this grip, you were here like this, and I just told you, you were about to run the line over the top, and as I'm coming over, he's bottling up. So I can't really see anything other than this. I just saw that thing close up on me, and I'm going, you know what? He's probably going to come to turtle if I come around too quick. So I'm going to drop right away. So as I was making this turn, I'm just going to retract back. Okay? I saw this bottled up. I grab onto a chin strap. As I fall back, I make a connection on my hands, and I'm driving up also. Okay? I'm aggressively not falling back because I don't want to be here. Right, I want to land this leg up as high up as possible so that I can leverage myself to make the curl on these hands, right? Because I want to kill his windpipe. So upon landing, drive, throw over the top, and now I finish off the arch, and he can't use that hand also when I throw it over. So upon landing, right, we said as we're falling, do it softly on your partner. It's a shitty move to drill, especially, this really is. It's all guillotines are, right? So as I'm landing, okay, I'm dropping that grip, but I'm driving up the line this way, okay? It's not the end of the world if he goes to his back, because then you can flip it to a 10-finger guillotine. So you can see that, hey, it's not the end of the world, but I still want to drive it up, because what's the worst case scenario? He comes up to turtle, now he's even in a worse spot, right? He comes up to turtle, and I'm driving back up that line. I'm going to really catch that thing up on the top of it. So as you're coming up, just have that focus of bringing up as high up as possible, because I want to leverage this thing and get that thing up. I also want to cover this hand so that he has no escape on this. Okay, guys, let's partner up. Let's add this one.